back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. I'm your host, Tonage Scorp, here with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
This is episode 150 of the Climb Together podcast. Uh, let's go. 150. That's a big number right there. 150. Way to be, way to be. So we got a couple different things to talk about this week. I do want to start off because they just announced this morning. Just like we're just gonna get into the meat and potatoes of it today. Why did I say it like that? Am I like 50? We're just gonna get into the meat and potatoes of it today.
Apparently.
Wow. Just for full disclosure, I woke up like 10 minutes ago from a slumber of slumbers. I've been like so like sleep deprived because like we're in like midterms right now, and so I've been like not sleeping, obviously, and I like didn't have school today because there's like this diversity summit going on at my college. So there's a bunch of presentations about how to like be better and everything like that, which I did want to go because I'm building a business that's based on like how to gender diversity. But I was like,
Yeah.
I'll sleep. I'll take like a nap after I take my sisters to school, and like I'll like wake up at like 10, then I'll go to the gym, then I'll shower, and then I'll go for like one of the presentations. And then I literally just slept. Like, I literally went to sleep at like 8:30 and I literally woke up at 1:59. Like, oh my god. Love me that for that. Love that for me. But just a forewarning, I'm still not awake yet. I'm getting there, I promise. Okay.
There's two versions of tone we get on the podcast, either barely awake or hopped up on caffeine and like having a stroke.
Yep, exactly. So, this one's the barely awake one today. It just depends on the week, really. Depends on the week, man. Okay.
Yeah.
So Overwatch just announced that they're putting out a new mobile game called Overwatch Rush. Which I love. I do like the fact that a lot of these bigger titles are putting out like mobile versions of their game just to kind of get more people to play and interested. Like Call of Duty Mobile does well. And that was a good move for them. So it's good to see like Overwatch making its comeback. I'm not gonna lie, like this is a pretty good game, and I'm glad that they're finally like investing into making it something good again. It used to be
Well,
such
and
a huge
honestly,
game.
like the way that Overwatch is, this kind of works as a mobile game because, like, honestly, if I didn't know what Overwatch was and you told me that this is what it was, I'd be like, all right. I'd be like, this makes sense. But it looks pretty good. I don't know how much of a fan I would be of the game, but I also just don't play mobile games, so I'm not the target audience for this.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it looks from like this clip. This is one of the actual maps like in the game. For those of you that don't play Overwatch. And it looks like it's all the same like characters too. So I think the only thing that they changed is more of like a top-down bird's eye view kind of thing. Kind of like it's a lot like the our zombie arcade mode in Call of Duty. But I do think it's great because then it gets more people to play these competitive games and it opens up a whole new aspect to
Well,
Overwatch
I
and it
mean,
brings
if
in a lot
they,
more
I
people.
assume that Blizzard is going to probably plug the actual Overwatch game in here, so it could get people to play the actual Overwatch game.
Because is Overwatch free?
Yeah, it's free to play.
That's what I thought.
It's been free to play since Overwatch 2 came out.
Yeah. I bought that. I bought that game. I bought that game when it was not Overwatch. I'm feeling a little soft. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I had the disc version for the Xbox. But actually, I think my sister might actually like. I might have to tell my sister about this because my sister loves
Wow.
Overwatch so
There's
much.
a disc version of Overwatch? That sounds crazy.
Yeah, I had it. I had it. The Xbox One. I would get home from school when it wasn't. This was like World War II era, I think. Oh God, I really do speak like a Call of Duty motherfucker. I saw this podcast sidebar. I saw this podcast where this one person was talking about like Call of Duty people, and it was just like,
Dude, because I
yeah,
sent that to you.
yeah. Oh yeah, you did send it to me. he
Because
was
I
like,
saw that and I was like, bro, that's so true. Like
he was
anybody
like,
that's like heavily invested in COD just ties their entire existence to what COD was at.
what COD was out the year that happened to them. Like, oh, like my dog died. Like I don't remember what year it was, but I think it was like Black Ops 4. And it's just like it's so true though because I don't tie my life to anything other than COD. Like there's certain things that I'll be like, oh yeah, that was 2016 or like whatever. Nope.
Dude, I
Like
kind of do
what
that too
year?
because like I remember like I was going through like I was going through well, it was really just a finale. It was less of a breakup, but it was more of a finale of like a 2 year like on and off relationship. And I remember like my 90% of my memory from that time period was grinding the heck out of Blackout on BO4.
Hmm. It's just like sidebar, not sidebar, but like my dad died. Most of the time, people will be like, "Oh, what year did your dad die?" And I have to like think. I'm like, oh, I want to say Black Ops 4, but I can't do that because I'm in the real world.
You
And I'm
just
like,
had to be like, wait,
they're
when
like,
did Black Ops 4 come out?
like, okay, my dad died. Black Ops 4 was released. Okay, Black Ops 4 was released in 2018. Okay, cool. And then I go 2018, and then they're like, oh, why did it take you so long? I'm like, oh, I just had to remember. It's been so long. Like, no, I remember. I just don't remember what year. And then I'm like, then I have to like think, and I'm like, okay, was it pre-Christmas or post-Christmas? And like, because like they release at the end of the year, and then the rest of the game is in the other year. So it's like, oh
Yeah.
my god, it's so bad. Like, what year I
Most of the
graduated high
game
school?
occurs in the next year.
What year I started high school? Don't know. What COD was it? Believe.
I started high school when toward the end of Ghost's life cycle.
I think I was I don't know because it was Black Ops
No, wait, I
4.
started high school toward the end of Black Ops 2's life cycle because that was like, I remember that going into high school because that was also when I finally started playing COD.
I think it was the start of the World War II cycle. Yeah, I started high school at World War II,
Okay,
and then
all right.
well, in the year like 2017, I started high school.
That's when I started college, was like toward the end of Infinite Warfare, beginning of World War II.
I started college. Modern Warfare 2. No, yeah, Modern Warfare 2. I started college. Yeah, and now here we are, still fucking in college. Last year though, last year. Only be one more COD will come out while I'm in college.
Wow. Dude, if you like told somebody that wasn't super familiar with COD that you started college in Modern Warfare 2 and now it's Black Ops 7 and you're still in college, they'd be like, "Oh my god, how long have you been in school?"
Be like 27 years. 27 years I've been in
They'd be like,
school.
"Has it been like 15 years?"
No, it's been 4. Thank you. Like, um, yeah, no, it's like it's just so funny because um, it's just I think of everything in terms of Call of Duty here, and it's just crazy because Overwatch 2, I was definitely also playing World War 2, or it was about to come on, I think, because I didn't like Advanced Warfare, so I didn't play it. So I think I played Overwatch instead of Advanced Warfare. So like 2016 year
Yeah,
Call of Duty.
Overwatch came out when Black Ops 3 was out. It released in 2016.
Yeah, so I think I played during Advanced Warfare because
And
I just
just
didn't
about the
like the game.
time when you were getting into it was right when like the Overwatch League started.
Hmm.
It started in like 2017, 2018.
Well, I think they streamed it on TV, and my stepdad was like, "Oh my
Oh, they
god,
did.
Hannah, what?" They did, yeah. My stepdad was like, "Oh my god, Hannah," pulling on my gubby. Sorry, guys. He's like, oh my god, Hannah, look, they're playing that game that you always play. I'm like, yeah, Tom, I get that. And then I literally was I was like, because we were at, it was like Christmas at my step grandparents' house, and I don't really like to talk to them because they're interesting people. My grandma's she has very differing views on life than I do, and so she says a lot of, she's like, like the people that like speak like crazy talk and like say a bunch of weird theories about the world and everything.
Yeah,
Like they
the
control
tinfoil hat
like
people.
yeah, like they control hurricanes by like a dial in like the president's office or something. She's one of those. And so I just like don't like talking to them that much. I'll talk to like my aunt and my cousins, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go in the living room and watch TV. And then I saw that they were on TV. They had
Yeah, I'm
the
pretty sure the
Overwatch League.
Overwatch League. I don't remember what
I don't remember
platform
what
they were on.
channel, but
It might have been ESPN, but like I remember the Overwatch League was broadcast on
hmm
TV. I
yeah,
saw
I
it.
watched it during those family gatherings, and I was like, thank you. I was like, oh, I have to watch this. This is like my sports. Like, I can't go out into the living room right now. I can't go out into the kitchen right now. I'm watching this. Like, my friends are playing. I would go. My
That was
friends are
also
playing in
around the
this.
time that Counter Strike was on TV because they did
Oh
the
yeah,
E League.
yeah. No, I would lie to them. I'd be like, my friends are playing in this, and they would just fucking believe me because they just didn't understand how esports worked. So I would just be like, I'm like, guys, like I can't, like I have to eat dinner out here. Like my friends are playing on TV right now, and like I have to support them.
You
And
wanna
my
know a
parents did not know
crazy
anything.
story that I don't know if I've told you or I've said on the podcast? I might have. I don't know.
Hmm.
But so I had the same experience with that, except like 10 years earlier. Um, there used to be, I don't know if you watched it because you were really young, but there used to be this channel called G4 where they would like, it basically was like a channel where they did a lot of like kind of pop culture stuff, but they also did a lot of gaming stuff and it was like not common at all to see like gaming on television at that time, like mid to late 2000s. Um,
Oh yeah, I was not. No, sorry, I was still watching
and I
football then.
remember one time, my dad was scrolling through the channels because we were gonna watch TV, and this was like 2008. I was like 10. Um, I was like 9, 10 years old, and he was scrolling, and he went past G4, and he like stopped on it for a second. And he was like, "What?" He was like, There's a video game on this channel. They're showing video games on this channel." And do you want to know what they were showing? And I watched it for a little bit, not knowing anything about what it was. But do you want to know what they were showing?
What?
They were showing the first ever Call of Duty esports event.
Wait, really?
It was the first ever event. It was the COD 4 MLG like invitational thing. In 2008, the first
Shit.
COD event they ever did.
You watch that
It
shit, you didn't
was
even realize.
yeah, and you want to know you want to know who was on the team that won that event?
Oh.
I'll take a big timer.
Eh.
The goat.
OG.
The
Yeah, no,
goat.
it's crazy. That was a little. I don't know. I just really think it's really funny that I'm gonna close this conversation out because I feel like we can just keep going down this rabbit hole. Sometimes we do that, um, but it is funny that we think of things in terms of Call of Duty years. I really did not realize that too much about myself. I was like, no, like that's not me. And then I like had a conversation with someone, and I thought like in Call of Duty, I'm like, well, they're like, oh, when I was like, oh, this happened during COVID, and I was like, they're like, well, what part of COVID? Like the first year, the second year? I'm like, well, I was playing Warzone every single day, so like it was like 2021. And they're like, how do you know that? Don't ask, bro. They're like, I was like, cause that year I did my 48-hour stream, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, like I don't know.
I feel like
Something.
a lot of people, even casual like people, remember that though about 2020 and like COVID is like it just coincided perfectly because like
Mm-hmm.
COVID started like ramping up in the US. It had been getting kind of bad in China, but then like it was like I think it was like early like January or early February that like the first case hit the US. And then like we were all like not super worried about it cuz it was like oh like it might get contained, and then like it just started spreading rapidly, and by like early March it was like okay, we might be in a bad situation here.
Oh yeah. We were like, oh
and then
crap.
and then like at the same time there were like all of a sudden there were all these rumors spiking up that COD was going to drop a new BR. But like they hadn't said anything about it at all. Like there had been like slight rumors for months from like leakers that like there would be something coming about halfway through MW19's life cycle, but nothing really happened. Like they never said anything, they never teased anything, and then all of a sudden, early March, Warzone just drops out of the blue, and what do you know? It drops out of the blue, and I think it was on like a Tuesday or something like that that it dropped, or a Wednesday, and then legitimately like 2 days later, uh, there was a state of emergency in the U.S. and everybody was ordered to stay home. So
Yeah.
we just had all this time in the world to play the new COD BR.
No, it was great. It's great. I mean, it wasn't great, but like honestly, like all my friendships that I have today were formed that year. Honestly, like all my last day esports, like gaming friendships that still are around today that I've had for more than like a year, I'd say are from that time because they're just
Yeah.
we were just so close because we were just playing together every single day.
Yeah, it was just like everybody was just stuck at home, so it's like, why not grind Warzone?
Yeah, literally. Like, let's do it. Let's run it. Like we would
And it was
do.
also like really fun back then in terms of like the game. Like, I mean, I think the entirety of Warzone 1 was fun, but especially the very beginning when there were no crazy integrations. It was just MW19 stuff and Verdansk, and that's it. and then like nobody knew anything about like what a meta would be like in Warzone, so like people were just kind of using whatever, trying to
Yeah.
figure out
Oh
what
my
worked.
god. There was not like it was not so. It was actually fun. Oh my god, I missed that part of it. It was just it was fun, and it was so like you would get on and you would just grind the game for like 8 hours a day, and you'd be like, all right, I have to go to
Yeah.
bed. Like you were like it was like you have to peel yourself off the game. Just like I have to go to sleep. I have to go to bed right now. Because if I don't go to bed right now, I'm not gonna be able to like. I have to like. I don't know. And then like sometimes you'd be like, I can do one more, and then you're doing it until 3 o'clock in the morning, and like nobody was working, so it was just like whatever.
Yeah, I remember like in terms of like trying to figure out what would be like a good weapon to use in Warzone in the early days. I remember I adopted this super early, and a lot of it kind of blew up later that people started using it more. But I loved using the M13. I thought it was super underrated, and I thought it was great. But like when I would play with my friends and stuff, they would be like, "No, like there are so many other weapons that are better." and like, and what do you know? Like a couple months later, everybody's making videos like, "Oh, the M13 is secretly goated in Warzone."
Mm-hmm. So I think it's awesome. I really miss that time. I miss that time a lot. Kind of like what I'm grinding to get back towards is like not exactly like the staying up till 3 a.m. every day and like grinding video games all day, but like
Yeah, you can't really do that anymore.
no, I mean I am staying up till 3 a.m. I'm just working, so it's like ugh, boring. If I'm gonna be staying up that late, I want to be playing video games, you know.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of like what like drives me to like keep going. It's just like I kind of want to get back to that, being able to just like sit at my setup all day, you know, and or like for like a good portion of the day and grind games and stream and create content that's like that's what like provides me purpose in life, and it makes me so much happier because for a while I wasn't really streaming at all. Like I wasn't doing the podcast, I wasn't streaming. I like took a break and I was just so depressed, and so I felt like I didn't really have like a purpose, I guess. And when I was like, you know what, maybe I'll start streaming again because that really like did boost my vibe. And then I started streaming again. I'm like, yep, this is what I was missing. I was missing this like outlet of like just like chilling with my friends, you know? Like I was just like
Yeah.
missing like the vibes that come from like streaming. Like you just someone comes in your chat and chit chats, talk with them while you're playing a game. Maybe they'll come play with you, or creating a video, and it's just like, yeah, you're proud of what you put out. Um, creating the podcast and all that stuff. So it really was like that. It became like, I forgot how intricate it. And nope, wrong word. Sorry guys, still waking up. Um, in in what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? What word, bro? I can't. Why
I
is
don't know.
English my first language, but I can never speak it? Um, Streaming just became such a major important aspect of my life. That's not what I was trying to say, but that's gonna work, I guess. And it became so
Yeah.
um entangled with like my daily functionality, I guess. And so just not doing it was just like, it takes a toll on me. And even now, like I only do like the podcast usually, or I'll do like 1 or 2 streams a week. And like that in and of itself is like not enough for me. Like I feel like I need like 3 to 4 streams a week. If I really like, I used to do like oh like 10 streams a week. I used to do like some doubles too, way back in that time, because I just loved it so much. And I would do like the 24 hour, the 48 hour, and like my goal was to do like a 72 that I never got to. Um, so like just to be able to like go back to that, I think is like what I want, you know, because it's so great. I don't know how we got here. I don't know how we got here. We were talking about Overwatch mobile game, and now we're here talking about what I want for life. Oh my god. Anyway, Deception, you take the reins, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing today. Apparently,
Well, I mean, I mean, this has kind of been a pretty good podcast, just kind of chill, because there hasn't really been that much happen outside of just the CDO matches going on, but um, it has been good because we've had quite a number of them. Uh, I really like. I kind of hope that like the CDL sees like everybody enjoying the fact that there are 11 matches, and we're getting like four, and we're getting at least like 3 or 4 matches every day.
yeah, which is
Um,
awesome. I think that's like
and they
a
look at it and
really
they're
good
like, we
step.
should do this.
I think that's a really good step to like what people want, as far as like more. They want more Call of Duty to watch. Like that's not. It's not the problem of like, oh, we don't want to watch. It's like we want more to watch. It's just you're not giving it to us, so it's like boring as hell. And like the players want to play more too.
Yeah, legitimately, like I've heard like multiple times on like different streams, people be like, um, people like the pros literally saying that it's just boring. Like that playing competitive COD right now is not as fun as it used to be because there's not as many matches. Um, they're like the LAN experience is not as good. Like, and it's like I don't know. I feel like with the scale that the CDL is on, maybe it is kind of difficult for them to match what they used to be able to do. But at the same time, it's like how is it seemingly so easy um, for smaller teams like when MLG and like ESL and them ran it before? How is it so like? How did they put on those events all the time? But now the CDL is a much bigger like esport situation they're in now. Like, how is it so difficult for them to do that now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if you think about it, like there weren't like a whole ton of people working at MLG when they would do those events. Like it's not like they had like an extensive team like the CDL does now. But they would have open events for COD and there'd be like 500 teams show up. And the CDL is like, "Oh, we can only do 4 challengers teams for like 2 events a year."
We can only do this. No, like you have to have the facility to do more. Honestly, it's just like, why are you doing that to yourself? Like, come on, like
Well, and it's like, especially like this season, it's like more emphasized than ever because they have taken the time this season to do something great, which is put on a Challengers Open event at every major. But now I'm just sitting here like, if you're gonna have the Challengers players playing an open event at every major, why not just put them in the CDL event and just do a whole open tournament, just completely open?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think there's so much more potential than what they have going on right now, and I think they have the facilities to make it so much bigger, but I think they're just like hesitant. I don't know. I don't know the financial inner workings of Activision because, well, I don't work there,
Yeah.
and I don't look. I mean, we could look at the SEC. Actually, let's look at their financial
Well, I
statement.
gotta hope that I have to hope that they have at least seen like what Halo's been able to do. And since they're under Xbox now and Microsoft, I at least hope that like they've seen what Halo's been able to do and they're at least like trying to figure out if they can make it work.
Yeah. We're gonna look at their. We're gonna look
Because
at their
Halo for the
filings. Hold
most
on.
part has still operated a lot like OG esports and it's great. Um but I don't know, like the when you look at like what happened with like the open events in the past is like there were like so many crazy storylines that could happen in those open events.
Um.
Like I remember back in like the first event of Infinite Warfare, um, nobody knew who E United was. They they were all the group of like amateur players that had just like formed, and they went in the open bracket and just dominated, and then they did so well that they ended up being one of the best teams in the entire game for the whole game.
So
And like,
Microsoft bought Activision, right?
yeah,
Okay.
Microsoft bought them and Blizzard and King.
Don't worry,
So
guys. I pulled up their financial statements for the year of 2025. All their fiscal year, anyway. It ends in June 30th, 2025. So, um, let's look. We want to look at. I'm just gonna scroll because this is a bunch of yada 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 yada. This is a bunch of blah 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 words that we don't really need to look at. We're looking at the numbers here. Hold on. This is what a lot of financial statements are. This is the board. This is the executive officer board. Look at how old. Oh, they're actually, it's not as old as I've seen. They're all in their 50s, which honestly, all except for one, that's actually not that bad comparatively. Usually they're like in their 60s or 70s.
well, and you have to remember that like a lot of the stuff is some of the stuff has changed considering Phil Spencer retired now.
Yeah. So this is this is
So
this is this is
he
their
is not
information.
leading Xbox anymore.
Oh. This is their information as of June 2020, June of 2025. Because that's when their fiscal year ends. They don't operate on the calendar year. They operate on their own like fiscal year. For why? I don't know. All right, so share purchases. I don't think we really care. Dividend per share amount millions. Oh my Jesus. Okay. This is what we're looking at. Okay, this is their summary of result of operation for Microsoft, right? Um, in millions. This is the numbers. It is $281 billion, almost $282 billion. They made in revenue. Their gross was 193 million, 194. Their net income was 101. And their diluted earnings per share is $13, which is like it's up $2 from almost $2 from 2024.
So their stocks are going up.
Yeah, so their earnings per share is like pretty much just like you buy the so for people that don't understand, you buy a share in a company that is public, right? Or even sometimes private companies will sell shares, but it won't be like publicly displayed like this. Um, they'll sell these shares at a dollar value, and then the shares change with how well the company is doing. And so when the share value goes up, that means the company's doing well. And so especially for a company like Microsoft, when their share diluted earnings per share is 13.64, and it's like almost increasing by $2 um in 1 year. That's a really good sign that the company's making money. So the company's making money. So any of the bullshit that anyone tries to feed you that they're not making money, Microsoft as a whole is making bank. Just saying. Um so because now they've got like, and this is like really pre-boom of AI. Like really the boom of AI happened over the summer. And
Yeah.
so this isn't even really like, we won't see that ad like that effect until this next year. But I want
Well,
to.
then we may see that effect like kind of split in half because like um it was said that like uh the new person that is president of Xbox now was like talking about how they're not gonna like get into AI too much.
Well, they have Microsoft Copilot, which is their AI platform, and that does a lot. Okay,
Yeah, they
balance
have.
sheet. I wanna see like a breakdown of like the different subsidiaries of Microsoft, but I don't know if it's gonna be in here or not. Then we can see like Activision, which makes it kind of sucky because like ever since like Activision was acquired by Microsoft, now everything's kind of lumped together. So it's really hard to like see how well one company, like one subsidiary of a larger company, is doing because it's all so um skewed, I guess. So you guys can read it. Also, I'm literally taking a class right now that's like interpreting these documents. I'm like, I've been doing this shit since fucking 2021.
It's kind of interesting though because her name is Asha Sharma and she's now the new the CEO, the head of Xbox,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like kind of interesting because she used to be before she became the head, she used to be the AI executive, but now she's like talking about AI and she's like pretty critical of it. I don't know if that's because she's had a whole lot of experience with it and she's kind of figured out where she wants to go with it, but
There we go. I've kind of found it. Well, it's in gaming, not in anything else. So, um, Microsoft has broke down their revenue into multiple different avenues. So they have their server product and cloud services. That's like what the Microsoft operating system for computers and stuff. Microsoft 365 commercial products and cloud services. So that's like the whole like PowerPoint, Excel, Word, all that. The Microsoft Cloud. Then there's gaming, which is where my Activision is, and like their consoles and their Xbox Game Pass and everything like that. And then there's LinkedIn. I don't know what money they're making off LinkedIn, but good for them. For that being,
yeah, how are they making so much money
I
off of
have no
LinkedIn?
idea. I
I
have
figured that would
no
be toward the
idea. Oh
bottom.
wait, do
Like
they own
what?
Do they own LinkedIn?
I think they do.
Oh, well then that's why. Oh my god, LinkedIn makes bank. What the heck?
Well, yeah, but like I know that, but like how is
You're charging me
LinkedIn
for a
making so
gold
much
membership
money?
just to fucking do a job posting? Hello? That's insane. What? Okay. And then Windows and devices, search and news advertising,
Dude, if they
Dynamics
own
products and
LinkedIn and
cloud
they're doing that on
services.
LinkedIn, that's like the downfall of Game Pass. They like saw what worked with LinkedIn and they tried it on Game Pass.
Yeah, like oh my god, like LinkedIn is like I would pull up my LinkedIn and show you, but I really don't want to dox myself. Um, it's just crazy. Anyway, so for gaming, they make okay. Mind you, they
I mean,
increased
they keep increasing
prices.
revenue. They didn't increase as much in from 2024 to 2025 as much as they did from 2023 to
2023 to 2021.
2024. But
Well, I think that's like when the acquisition of Activision happened. like in that
Well, yeah,
fiscal
the
year
full
for them
acquisition
was
occurred
done by
around
2024.
that time.
It like in
Well, if we're
2024, so I
going
think
off
that's where
of
that came from.
if we're going off the fiscal year, then yeah, because technically the 2024 fiscal year would have started in June 2023 if that's how theirs works.
Yep.
And the full Activision acquisition happened like right when MW3 came out around like October, November.
Yep. So
So that
that's makes
lines
sense
up.
why that was so large, I guess. I mean, all of their um especially up here too. This went up, but I think that's with the addition of AI as well. Um, so, but yeah, so with the acquisition of Activision, there was an increase of what was it, 6,000, about 6,000, like no, $6 billion increase. Sorry,
Yeah.
let me correct myself here. I did forgot that this was in millions. There was a $6 billion increase of revenue for gaming. Wait, no, yeah, yeah,
It was about a 40%
yeah,
increase,
yeah.
30 to 40%.
That's a big increase. And then everyone, they were all saying like, oh, we have to increase the game, we have to increase the number, like we have to increase the freaking game prices. No, you don't. Then they still made like almost 2
See,
billion
like
more.
I kind of like when they initially increased it the first time, I kind of understood it because it was mainly because they were going to end up putting Activision stuff on there.
Mm,
And like I kind of understood them raising it the first time because of that, because obviously like the Activision games raise the value of Game Pass, so like uh so why not? If it's going to raise the demand of Game Pass, then like raise the price a little bit. But then they just kept raising it and it's just like why?
yeah. So and then they still had a
Like when
two
it went from
thousand
nine
dollar
ninety nine to
increase.
10.99, I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. But so they're still like making more money. So I think I just want to point that out. Is like they're still, it's not that they made only $2 billion. If they made $23 billion, and then that's 2 billion more than they made the year before that. So like they're still
Yeah.
making good money, and then they all have all these other different revenue sources. That's like the benefit of like being part of a bigger company, is like there are so many diverse, there's like a very diversified revenue portfolio, which means like it's supposed to make all the other companies like more, they're supposed to make them better and more affordable or whatever, not more expensive.
Well,
Um
that's the weird thing, and like that's the weird thing about business to me is like they see that they got that crazy like 40% jump, and then it only went up by about like 8 to 10% the next year, and they're instead of them being like, okay, what did we do wrong that made us not make that 40% happen again? They're instead of them saying that, they're like, okay, we only made like 8% more, so we need to figure out how we can charge people more so we can get back up to that 40%.
mhm. So here's where I think this is the important aspect, right? Microsoft as a whole, their retained earnings. So this is the money that they made and they kept within the company, minus expenses, minus dividends, all that. This is the money that they kept within the company, and this is in millions, right? So it's $237 billion that they kept in retained earnings this year. Almost what? Like almost like I think it's almost 60. I think it's 64 billion more than the year before in retained earnings. $64 billion increase in retained earnings. That's insane. I want to point it out real quick. That is like, that's the money that's coming from them raising the prices of gaming. And all these, like, for them raising the prices is just making it so they make more money. I'm just saying, because that retained earnings is what goes into like bonuses, dividends, or like reinvestment in the company in the next year. It's like that's the kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
them like making all that money and them charging more for like Game Pass and stuff just makes me wonder how many employees they have at the company that they
That's
need
not
to
even,
keep paying.
no, that's not including like expenses. Um, and then they're only paying $7 billion in income taxes. Just so everyone's aware. See here. We could have a breakdown. Cash flows. Inventories. Yeah, they don't have a lot of inventory, but their accounts receivable pretty high. Sorry, I'm looking at this for the first time, so I'm making sure to read it. Maybe I should look this over before. And, yeah, and they repurchased a bunch of stock as well, which means a bunch of people got paid out. In their stock, which is like good for them. You know, that's like the whole point in investing in such a big company. But like, cash dividends declared per share up as well. So all in all, the company's making money and they're charging us more anyway. So be angry, you know. You have a right to be angry that they're charging us more money for games. It's not because they're making money; it's because they want to make more money. Just so everyone's aware. Yeah, I think that's my little rant about Microsoft and Activision. All right. Anything else you want to talk about today, Deception? I know it's kind of a late week.
Not really. I mean, I don't think that there's gonna be a lot happen there. There wasn't really as much happening with Rostermania as what a lot of people thought. So I don't know if there's gonna be anything like extremely notable before they go off to Birmingham for the event. But I am excited for that event because the anytime they go over to the EU events are always awesome. So we'll figure it out.
Alrighty. Well, we'll call it there then. Get my shit together, I guess. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Climb Together podcast. I've been your host, Tonage Scorp, here with my co-host, Deception. Say bye.
Bye.
Yo, Kichi with the resub. Let's go. 30 months. But we'll make sure you guys follow the stream also on Twitch. We stream this live every week. Twitch.tv/Tonage_Scorp and Twitch.tv/Deception276. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and like the video. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.